fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, Deku, yeah, he has just discovered his mother has been murdered. Along with that, he has met with Vengola 9, who has revealed secrets of the past to Deku. Now, Deku was just blindsided by all this information. His mother knew about the Mafia. His father works with the Mafia. Deku is the descendant of the first Vengola boss. And the fact is, he had this power ever since he was a child. But it was locked away from him. And instead of being nurtured, it was ignored. Now, Deku, yeah. He discovered all this information and ran away from it, hopping on his motorcycle and literally leaving with Kendo. Now, with that being said, Vengola 9, he's not really too sure what to do. Deku's bike and keychain are equipped with trackers, so they will be able to find him even if he somehow leaves Japan. However, there's just one problem. The boys literally just had his world flipped on its own head. And, well, he came here to do something else. However, he didn't realize that the enemy the Vengola are currently going up against is exactly this dangerous. Now, with that being said, Deku, him and Kendo, they did drive for a while. And eventually Deku, he did just stop. Now, Deku, he does pull over and get off the highway, as he does make his way throughout the mountains. And eventually Kendo finally does go to speak up, asking if he's okay. To which Deku, he doesn't really respond, until Kendo, she is going to bring up her hand and tap him on the shoulder, as she is actually going to lean upwards and forwards a bit, whispering into his ear that, is he okay? Now, Deku does just do one thing. He starts to slow down as the bike does come to a stop. As it's on the side of the road, Deku, he does go to get off and just start to walk away into the forest. Now, as Deku does approach a tree, he does actually go to bring up his hand and smash into it with his fist, as he does just pull it away and start to punch it over and over again. Now, Kendo can see this. Deku's acting irrational. She's seen how he's usually calm, stoic, and, well, sometimes frighteningly accurate with his predictions. This guy's super intuition. It's on a whole other level than anything she's seen. And then there's the fact that he gets so serious sometimes, and it's just hard to tell if he's a mind reader, if he can see the future, or just what. Now, you do actually have where Kendo is going to walk forwards and grab Deku by his arm, as Deku is still trying to move it forwards and punch into a tree, before he does go to look at her and she does to stare back at him. Izuku, I don't... She knew. She knew. She knew this whole fucking time. Izuku? She knew about the Vengola, the Mafia, my powers. She fucking knew. So did my dad. My dad, he works with the fucking Mafia. Now, Kendo, she's surprised by that. That is a lot. Now, Deku, he did just start ranting. Apparently, Vengola 9 knew him since he was a kid. He hid his power from him. They all lied to him growing up. It doesn't matter. He's not just some random kid chosen to be the boss, he's the descendant of the first boss. And the fact of the matter is, they stuck him here in Japan and hid his power from him. If they wanted to train him to be a proper fucking boss, why didn't they nurture him as a child? Why didn't they do any of that? Now he's here. He could have been a lot stronger, but apparently his powers are sealed. Deku smashing his left fist into a tree as he actually does feel blood start to run down his fist. Now, Kendo just stare at Deku, as she does try to calm him down. Now, she can tell that Deku he's very, very angry. He punched Reborn, something that not even Bakugo would consider. And that guy, yeah, he's got a fucking temper. Now, she does just look at Deku, who he's just staring down towards the ground and trying to think about everything. Why is this happening to him? It's because of who he's related to, the first boss. Vengola 1. Because of that man, he's living this life. He thought that he was being trained because, well, he had the Sky Flame, that he was some sort of special candidate. But it's because of who his family is. That's it. And there's his dad, the man who never writes home, never visits, never fucking calls. He just left them here in Japan. It starts to add up. The reason why he doesn't acknowledge Deku or his mother's existence is because it's either to protect them or hide them. Now, Deku liked it the other way. He liked the ignorant father who was just so busy with work overseas, not the one who's a member of the Mafia. Now, this is all just strange to Deku, as Deku just want to close his eyes and let the world fade away. Now, with that being said, we actually do have a strange sound that has happened, and Deku does get to open his eyes, as he does go to look around before looking back down at his hands. Now, Deku, he's very confused, as he's going to, well, bring his hand up and wave around, or at least wave the pink mist that's around him away. What the fuck is this stuff? Now, Deku's, yeah, where am I? Now, Deku does just look around. Is this an office? Deku finds that he's in a chair, before going to stand up and look around. Okay, this is weird. Now, Deku, he's very confused. This is not right. Where am I? Now, there actually is a knock on the door, and Deku does look up towards it. Holy shit, this room is huge. Now, the door would open and somebody does walk in, as Deku does see a long, blonde-haired man, with his hair back in a ponytail. Boss, I have some info. What the fuck? Uh, um, okay, don't be mad, but I don't know how I ended up here. Uh, this can't be right. Is that you, boss? Boss? Yeah. Izuku, is that you? Now, Deku's quite confused. Izuku? Wait, that face. Bakugo? Now, Bakugo does come stepping in. Holy shit. Now, Deku does just stare at Bakugo. The dude, well, he's huge. He's a lot bigger. Now, Bakugo, he does just think. Okay, so this is the day it was supposed to happen, that's right. Bakugo, what happened to you? That's not really important right now. You got... How long have you been here? I just kinda got here. Perfect, okay. Did you see the note on the table? Note? No. Deku does walk back around the desk and go to grab a note. As he does see what it does say. As it does say, Dear Decimo. Now, Deku does begin to read it. What the hell? This is his handwriting. Bakugo, what's going on? Ah, okay. Well, let me explain it to you in a way you'll understand. Now, one brief explanation later. 10-year bazooka? Yeah, Deku, it's been 10 years for you. In the blink of an eye. So, yeah. That's really about it. That weapon was locked away because a few idiots got involved with it. And we had to clean up the mess. Clean up the mess? That's not important right now. You'll figure that out eventually. But I'm just curious. What's the last thing you remember? The last thing I remember? I was at the hospital. I had just learned Inko died. Yeah. I'm sorry. Hmm? I'm sorry. I should have done more back then. But, well, you were going through your own shit. It's hard to explain, it's hard to really understand. But you need to be aware. Now, Balko knows what he's about to do. This is very dangerous. But the boss, he needs to know how to change the future. They're friends. They need to survive. They're allies. They need to survive as well. And he knows that Deku, if he doesn't change this outcome, a lot of things are going to be bad. So, I'm going to say a few things. And you need to pay attention. I'm technically breaking a lot of rules here. However, you told me about this yesterday. I did? You posed it as a hypothetical question. And I see where you're going with it. I'll keep this quiet myself. So, now, Balko does at least start to explain a few things to Deku. When he gets back in the past, he needs to do this. Head back to the hospital and apologize to Reborn. Then, he needs to immediately, and he means it literally, immediately ask Mangola 9 for assistance in moving their families somewhere to a safe location. Why? Trust me, you're gonna want to. Afterwards, well, you're gonna need to take on All For One. All For One? Yeah. He's a pretty big threat. If you can take him out now, it'd be best. In our past, or my past, you left him alone. He became a bigger threat later on, and a lot of people died. You can't be serious. I am. Including, well, you know. Who? Your mother. Yeah. Deku just asked the question, did they catch who killed her? Did they catch who killed her, Bakugo? Bakugo looking away. He knows the answer to this question, but if he does explain it to Deku, it could shatter him. Deku was fragile whenever he left the hospital. And if he's correct, telling him this piece of information could send him over the edge. It could actually drive him insane. Now, Deku does stand up and go to walk forwards, grabbing Bakugo by his jacket as he is going to pull him up. Tell me the fucking answer. Now, Bakugo does going to bring up his fist and grab Deku by his wrist, as he does going to pull him off of him and tell him that he can't. Now, Bakugo does just explain. Deku, he needs to be aware that he's changed too much already, and that he's doing this for the survival of the Vengola. Survival of the Vengola? Fuck. Tell me what that means. Tell me what that Deku disappearing. As we do actually have where he's back in the forest, and he's, well, sitting up in a tree. Huh? Bakugo? Deku? Or Izuku? Kendo? Oh, thank God you're back. Wait, what happened? I don't know, you just disappeared. What the fuck was that? Wait, your bazooka. The time was up. That means I'm... Now, Deku's trying to think about all this information. Okay. Think about this with a bit of a clear mind. All Might's going to die tonight if he doesn't save him. The Mafia family run by All for One will take over. A lot more people will suffer and die. And Deku, he knows what he has to do. So, now, Deku, he does just go to jump out of the tree. As he just land on the ground and quickly go to walk over to his motorcycle. Kendo, watching Deku as his, well, sudden change is noticeable. Her asking him where he did go. And Deku just tells her that he doesn't know if he should really try to explain it to her, since he's still trying to wrap his head around it himself. Now, Deku, he does go to turn on the motorcycle as he does push up the kickstand and go to turn around and leave. As we do actually have back at the hospital, where Deku, him and Kendo do come walking back in. And Reborn, he does notice Deku's sudden attitude change. Now, Reborn, he also has noticed something strange about Deku. That smell on him. It couldn't be. Now, Deku does come walking back up, apologizing to Reborn and then going to walk back towards Vengola 9. Now, Vengola 9 was quite surprised. He was going to stick around a little bit longer, and then there's whenever Deku did come walking back up and look right at him. Vengola 9, I'm sorry. This is a sudden change. What happened? I can't explain it to you, but I need your help. Now, Deku does begin at least to express his concern for the situation, and talk about how he needs his help with this thing. Now, Vengola 9, he does actually look at Deku, understanding what he's going to do. So, this is pretty bad. Now, Deku does go to walk back into the hospital. As his familia, they're all still there. Deku actually pulling them all outside and telling them what's going to happen. Now, a lot of people are quite surprised. Deku was gone for an hour and a half, and already he's back to this? His mom just died, and he's taking this news now as if it's good. Now, Deku, right now, he's trying to push that to the back of his mind, bury those feelings, and deal with them later. Right now, he knows that if he doesn't act fast, many of these people in this room in front of him will die, along with even somebody he does care about. Now, Deku, yeah. He does express to the Guardians what's going to be happening, and many of them they are quite surprised hearing about it. Deku, he does explain it. Aizawa's on the verge of finding out who they all are, and tonight, if it does go down the way it's going to, they will all be revealed anyway. Now, all of them are quite confused. Deku explained to them, or lying to them, that with his super intuition, he's seen it. Some people are going to go live on television after All Might faces off against the man named All for One. After that, they'll all be exposed and they'll be on the run. Some of them will end up in jail. And others, they'll end up on the lam, where they'll break out and eventually meet back up to take down All for One. Now, this is quite a surprise. And we actually do have where, well, a man, or Vingolinite, is at least going to make a phone call. He's glad he brought them tonight then. Now, he didn't have any concern with interfering, but if it's for the sake of saving the Vangola families, along with their identities, or at least make them look better tonight than they were going to originally, he'll do it. Now, Deku, yeah, he's gotten everything in order, as he does turn to Vangola 9 and ask him to remove that seal in his power. Young man, I don't think you understand that it's not that. Please. No. Vangola 9 does look at Deku, as he does go to bring his hand up and look directly at him. Now, Vangola 9, he does do one simple thing. He does go to bring his hands up a certain way and go to throw back two L's, or put his hands into two L's and then put them together as if he's looking at a photo. As Deku, he does watch him do that, as the flame on top of his head does start igniting. And Deku, he does actually feel something strange. He feels like something's being pulled from him. And then there actually is whenever he does see a, well, orange flame jump from his head and actually from around his body. As Deku, yeah, he does watch that large flame. Vangola 9 going to bring his hand up and go to put it into a fist. As the flame it does disperse. And Deku does go to look back down at his hands. That's weird. Did it? Yes, it did. That seal was there to prevent your power from overflowing. However, now you need to get a good handle on it. If you don't, people around you could actually get hurt. Okay, I understand, 9. Decimo, you need to hurry. Don't take the pills. They'll, well, push you over. I understand. Thank you again. I am very sorry for how I acted. It's just, you're going through a lot, young man. Right now you're putting the familiar first. I'm proud of you. Now, Deku is thinking about those words. It's the first time he's ever heard them from somebody, other than Reborn and his mother. So, that's what that feels like. Now, with that being said, Deku, yeah, he does turn towards his guardians and inform him of the current battle ahead of them. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.